Hello, my greetings to you all and welcome to video 11, the concluding video for the chapter The Address from Snapshot. So, how are you all, dear students? Hope doing well and keep safe. At these trying times, dear students, you should take proper care of yourself. So, let's proceed now. The content of this video will be analysis of the story along with explanation of important extracts, vocabulary, etc. Explanation of extracts and analysis of the story will be done simultaneously together. A few lines which I am going to pick out from the story will indicate poet's chaotic emotional state, ill effects of war, self-actualization, etc. Now, let me extract important lines from this lesson. So, a few extracts from this chapter as follows. Have you come back? I thought that no one had come back. Next one. It would simply be an insult to talk like that and think about the risk she is running. Each time she goes out of our door with a full suitcase or bag. Next, the most important one. I was absolutely not interested in all that stored stuff, and naturally I was also rather afraid of it. Afraid of being confronted with things that had belonged to a connection that no longer existed. Next, which had endured all those years because they were things. Next extract. I noticed I was curious about all the possessions that must still be at that address. I wanted to see them, touch and remember. Next, she held open the door of the living room and I went inside past her. I stopped, horrified. I was in a room I knew and did not know. I found myself in the midst of things I did not want to see again, but which oppressed me in the strange atmosphere. Or because of the tasteless way everything was arranged. Next one. Yes, I said, you get so used to touching all those lovely things in the house. You hardly look at them anymore. You only notice when something is missing because it has to be repaired or because you have lent it, for example. I jumped up. I was forgetting the time. I must catch my train. Lust and the concluding one. The address was correct, but now I didn't want to remember it anymore. I wouldn't go back there because the objects that are linked to your memory with the familiar life of former times instantly lose their value when severed from them. You see them again in strange surroundings. I resolved to forget the address. Of all the things I had to forget, that would be the easiest. These were a few important extracts. What would be very, that means helpful to understand this chapter, number one. And obviously, when I will go to analyze the story, I will off and on, quote these lines, right? Now, let me go through the analytical part of the story. In analysis, these analysis will be divided into various points, 4 or 5 points. First point, portrayal of human emotions. The story portrays human emotions of hope, trust, betrayal, greed, vices, etc. And it highlights how greed and vices afflict human beings, do dreadful things. The extract, "Have you come back?" I thought that no one had come back, spoken by Mrs. Darling, foreshadows this extract, these lines, words, foreshadows cheating, betrayal. The author has got a cold shoulder from the lady. This justifies the fact that Mrs. Darling cheated author's mother, whereas Mrs. S entrusted this lady with all her valuables for safekeeping. She had full faith upon Mrs. Darling that she surely would return her possessions, though there was no assurance. On the contrary, Mrs. S was so sensible and concerned about her friend that, and this is reflected by her words, when she says, "It would simply be an insult to talk like that. Think about the risk she is running each time she goes out of our door with a full suitcase or bag." So Mrs. S, narrator's mother, spoke these words to her daughter, to the narrator, when she had expressed her doubt. The narrator had once expressed her doubt about the surety of getting the things back. Later, we have been seeing that Mrs. Darling has refused to return what she took from her friend, Mrs. S, and do her duty as a friend and as a responsible human being. Mrs. Darling actually has taken advantage of her friend's difficult times. This is sheer betrayal, what portrays and represents the worst of human nature. This is first point. Now, point number 2. The author suffered emotional turmoil. You people have seen whatever the lines and sentences I have quoted. That actually very well, vividly portrays the emotional turmoil, whatever she has gone through. The narrator encountered an emotional turbulence here. After the war was over, the narrator came back to her native place. She felt an urge to see her mother's belongings and possibly to get all those back as per her mother's wish and instruction. Upon her first visit to Mrs. Darling's house, she received a cold shoulder from the lady. Then she decided to visit next time, second time. On her next visit, Mrs. Darling wasn't there at home, but her daughter answered the door and she let the author in. Ultimately, the narrator was there at the much awaited address and the house. Out there in the passage and in living room, she could see all her mother's precious possessions. But she felt it horrified. It was depressing to see all the things to be arranged what were arranged in a tasteless manner. It oppressed her to find the belongings in a strange atmosphere. Very disturbing to see same familiar possessions in an unfamiliar place. This she expressed in the following words whenever we go and read in page number 13 in the second paragraph. She held open the door, this one. Let me. She held open the door of the living room and I went inside past her. I stopped horrified. I was in a room I knew and did not know. I found myself in the midst of things I did want to see again, but that oppressed me in the very strange atmosphere, or because of the tasteless way everything was arranged. Now, dear students, you just go through. I was in a room I knew and I did not know. Do you find this is ambiguous or contradictory? You see, you just try to understand what the emotional turmoil a person was going through at that point of time. Much awaited. He just wanted to see all those things again. She wanted to touch them, feel them. But once she has seen this one in that, unfamiliar and strange atmosphere, the way these were arranged, she was perturbed much. So, you see the kind of turmoil, emotional turmoil she actually suffered from. Now, next point. Point number 3. The writer was not so materialistic. The author herself never preferred to materialistic gains and all. It was because her mother who had asked her to remember that address, and afterward, if situation and circumstance permits, to collect all those things back, she would go and collect the things back. So that is why, number 1. And number 2, one another point was that she actually urged to see them, once again touch them, but not necessarily whether she wanted, at that very moment, to take her all those back. Okay. But rather, one extract we have here, I'll go through and read it once again. But rather she was afraid of being confronted with the things that was connected with someone, the nearest and dearest one, someone who was no more. Remember, she lost her mother, most probably due to war. We can establish this point when I read her saying, quote unquote, I was obviously not interested in all that stored stuff, and naturally I was also rather afraid of it. Afraid of being confronted with things that had belonged to a connection that no longer existed. Connection that no longer existed, hints drops us hint that mother was no more, which were hidden away in cupboards and boxes and waiting in vain until they were put back in their place again, which had endured all those years because they were things. One day I noticed I was curious about all those possessions that must still be at that address. I wanted to see them, touch and remember. Well, she got very afraid to face all those situations, because why? Why must we, that would remind her, remind her of her past, that would remind her of her mother, of her family members, and etc. and etc. And obviously, later time, whenever she got back to her homeland, the native land, to be there, to be in touch with all those places and all those things, that would do nothing but give pain to her. Okay. Now, next point is her realization. I want to cite one extract, which had endured all those years because they were things. Remember, things. The word which here refers, do you know which, the word which refers to what? The word which refers here to the stored stuff, that means mother's belongings, the cups and saucers and, that means boxes and etc. Stored stuffs, mother's belongings, because they were things. In this respect, we can refer to one another lesson from Hornbill you people have gone through, named A Photograph, a poem written by Shirley Tolson. I hope you people still remember, you can go and watch video number 3 and 4. A poem where the poet expresses the same thing here. You remember one line over there, the sea has changed less. Sea has changed less compared to the change that occurred in poet's mother's life. Whereas poet's mother is no more. But the sea where she went to spend her holidays in her childhood days is still there. So same theme echoes over here as well in this chapter, when the author says stored stuff could endure all those years because these were mere things within quote. Students, war afflicts human beings with loss of life, sometimes loss of property too, but surely human beings get to be more affected, by losing near and dear ones, by losing properties, homelands, etc. etc. Well, point number 5 now, last point. This is last point. What? Self-actualization. You would find that self-actualization has taken place in her. The author went through experiencing a depressive situation in that strange atmosphere. She couldn't have it anymore, any further. Felt it is better to forget the address. Quote and unquote. I wouldn't go, but now I didn't want to remember it anymore. I wouldn't go back there because the objects that are linked in your memory with the familiar life of former times instantly lose their value when severed from them. I resolved to forget the address of all the things I had to forget. That would be the easiest. She could very well realize that human beings are more important in life than things. When she suffered the grievous blow of her mother's death, the irreparable loss in her life, then mere things would do nothing but add up grief and pain and emotional misery to her life. So, she reiterates, quote and unquote, I resolved to forget the address of all the things I had to forget. That would be the easiest. So, that was the analysis. That's all about the analysis of the story, dear students. Next, now I will discuss, words and their meanings. One word there. Chink. Chink means narrow opening. She has opened the door a chink. That means slightly opened. Resolve. She resolved to forget the address. Resolve means decided firmly on a course, made her mind up. Decided firmly on a course of action. Course of action. Made her mind up. Okay. Jam. Jam meaning jam, door jam or window jam and etc. Side post of door or window. Next one is reprovingly. Reprovingly meaning in a reproachful manner. Now, what is reproachful? Reproachful means expressing disapproval or disappointment. Next one is confronted. In this extract you have confronted. Confronted meaning face up to or deal with a problem or difficulty, a situation where you find difficult. The situation is difficult. Okay. Another word is endured the things that that means which had endured all those years. Endured here meaning survived. Now one another word here is cumbersome. Cumbersome meaning large or heavy and therefore difficult to carry or use. Severed. In this extract you have severed from them, separated. Having been cut, that means here separated. So that was the vocabulary, some words, a few words what I think would be unfamiliar to you. That's all for today. Students, I have covered all regarding this chapter about the author, theme, synopsis, explanation, analysis, vocabulary, etc. Now you will prepare questions. If you gather any doubts, please ask me. I am always at your service. So now allow me take leave. Let's meet in my next video. Stay safe, stay secure. Bye.